Dr. Judy Chartrand is a recognized thought leader in the areas of selection, talent assessment, leadership development, and critical thinking. She's an excellent communicator. This I know. She has presented at over 60 national and international conferences and has written over 80 articles and 4 books, including the Now You're Thinking series. Judy and I are old friends from days gone by and jobs and whatever universes gone by. We're like in totally different places right now, but it's so great to catch up with her again at this point in time. Judy, everybody's kind of got their little bit of their bag of tricks for how they continue on, for how they get up every morning, about how they face the challenges, and probably most importantly, how they remain resilient. What are your thoughts on remaining resilient?
Yeah, it's a great question. And that's a question I've been getting a lot over the last 4 months. And what a good place to start is if you look at research that's been done on how people have coped in extreme isolation, right? How do you cope if you're sent out to Antarctica or the North Pole to do work? And the research there talks about how, they'll maintain those positive thoughts and say, why am I on this mission? And use universally positive attitude, good humor, right? So when people are asking me that question, I say, look, I think there's three areas, kind of three bags of coping skills that you might want to use. And one is mental discipline, right? The event isn't what's important, it's how you interpret an event. And to use an example, we're all going a little stir crazy after 4 months of COVID, but if you think about a woman having a baby, that lasts 9 months. So, I personally experienced that, right? You get back pain, you get morning sickness. As the baby grows, your organs are getting pushed all over. But women put up with that and accept that because the end result is a baby, right? They found their greater good. And I think that's what we all need to do here is we need to be able to find
Sure.
our greater good, right? So that mental discipline helps. I certainly have heard a lot of people using. I encourage people to use kind of that body relaxation. Where are you storing that tension? And then let's use
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness, meditation, exercise, so that we kind of get a sense of we take a deep breath. Where are we storing that? And that's certainly for me a better strategy than going to the refrigerator or doing something like that, which I have a
I
tendency to
know.
do, right?
I know.
Right. And then I guess the third area would be that social interaction. We're, emotions are contagious and we're social creatures. So how can we stay positive with each other? Or if we're in a situation together, maybe we can take and lead that conversation in a positive direction. Because I have quite a few conversations kind of getting pretty serious and a little on the downward side. So how can we do that?
Sure.
Um, I, I think probably the first question to ask if you're kind of looking for and going through a situation would be, do I have control of the situation? Do I have control? And if the answer is no, we kind of have to cope a little bit differently than if the answer is yes, right?
Sure.
If I don't have personal control, what's the wisdom here? What am I learning from this situation? Wisdom gained. Maybe pleasant thoughts. We missed the 4th of July this year before. We're really going to enjoy it even more
Sure.
next year.
Sure.
And social support. Maybe if I can shift that social perspective onto a kind of a greater good, like ask you, turning it to you and saying, hey, well, how's your life impacted? How are you doing? Those are things that tend to help folks when they don't have control. And we don't have control over the pandemic. We do have control over should we choose to wear a mask, right? So when we do have control, what's the goal here? What can I achieve? What if I practice social distancing? What am I going to be able to achieve?
Sure.
Problem solving. Like, hey, how do we get these meetings done in a social, in a distant situation? And then finally, self-awareness. When you have control, is behavior. What can I do differently? Thinking. hey, this is only temporary. And then, feelings. Yeah, sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes, yeah, I feel a little pansick, a little anxious during these tough times. And it's a good cue. Hey, that's a cue to me that, hey, what's going on? What am I doing? What am I interpreting? And how can I, again, kind of reshift?
Sure,
So,
sure.
um, you know, I'm hearing it a lot. I attended a meeting with 30 HR professionals this week, and I was just stunned by the level of stress that came up. One woman had high blood pressure. Another she said, I went to our own EAP. Another one, almost broke down in tears. So there's a lot going
Yeah,
on with kind of HR people are kind of like the front responders in a work environment.
sure, sure.
So those are just some
Yeah, no, that's good. Thank you for sharing. Judy, I ask everybody who participates in the show to reflect on this whole issue of lessons learned. What's top of mind for you about the lessons that we've learned or we are learning right now that we must not forget?
it's a humbling experience that we're going through. Um, I think some of the lessons learned are that we are going to go through challenging and humbling experiences. I I think back to when I was a small child, there was tremendous rift going on in our country. People had been, King had been assassinated, Kennedy, race riots. There were Vietnam. It was tremendous. And then a few years later, we're in the that 70s Dazed and Confused era.
What was the problem? Right.
What's the problem? And I think we are at a very important inflection point. There's no doubt. And something good, just like those tumultuous 60s, something good's going to come of this. And let's see what it is. Let's make it a positive thing.
Okay.
I think those are the lessons that kind of stand out for me.
Hey, so good to see you again, and thanks for taking the time out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.